SoulsLot. So SoulsLot is a global fractional real estate marketplace. Many people in this room actually have invested in real estate through SoulsLot. And we're going to get into not only how they made money, but also how we make money, because we're starting to enter into our beta. So SoulsLot is a real estate platform that solves a problem for homeowners, and that is that 1 in 5 of all homeowners are thinking about selling their house, right? The average home age of homes right now is 1979, and every 40 years you have to renovate your home, right? Well, high rate environments and older homes mean a lot of homeowners who are considering selling, 1 in 5, don't have the money to come up with it, and so they're resorting to investors. Like my former self, I've bought over 500 homes, or iBuyers, right? Open Door, Zillow, and they're offering them between 70 and 90% of what their fair value home's actually worth. So if it's a $500,000 home, they're losing $100,000 to $150,000 right off that offer acceptance, right? All because they just didn't have the money to fix it. So the other issue is a lot of us in this room probably would have helped those homeowners for a hefty fee if we could have all gotten together and provided a better solution. So right now, home ownership and investment is difficult because you have to go get a loan, right? Get a hard money loan and buy the house. And I guarantee you, it's not something you guys ever want to try. Again, strict loan qualifications and high interest rates are causing lots of problems in the housing market. So SoulsLot provides the solution. And the solution starts with immediate access to equity in the home. How we do that is we simply run an appraisal on the home, and we allow the homeowner to get up to 80% of their value of the home, right? So if the home's worth $500,000, they don't owe anything. Yes, we will give them up to $400,000 in cash, right? Now, we probably wouldn't recommend that to a homeowner because it'd be a hefty fee. So let's say they only need $100,000, right? So the same situation, right? It's paid off. Zillow offers them $400,000 for that home. We say, hey, yeah, why would you take that? I'll give you $100,000 right now. You can move out, right? Fix it up, list it on the market for $500,000, and we'll only charge you a 20% fee, a 1.2x exchange rate of the $100,000 we give you, right? So we make 20% right there. We have capital partners that go ahead and fund the homeowner. These are lenders that we've used for years in our backyard. And so the SoulsLot funds a homeowner, right? They prepare and list, and what we do is we break down that, what it pretty much is it's an option agreement, right? It's called a forward sale, but essentially we say, we give you $100,000, we have the option to buy back 1.2x of that $100,000 value of the home when the property sells. So we have an equity option agreement. It's not a loan, there's no payments, right? So that 1.2x, as many of you DAC investors have already experienced, you're receiving 1.12 to 1.5x return absolute, right? You're getting about 12 to 15% return on the money you invest. Where are we making money? A 5 to 7% spread between the 1.2x and the 1.12 to 1.5, right? So when you buy that DAC, there's already a float in between. Not only that, but we also charge the homeowner a 5% closing cost, right? So 5% plus 7% means our revenue model is 12% of all the money that passes through SoulsLot, okay? So not only are we making 12% of all the money, but you're also making 12 to 15% return on whatever money you invest, right? As low as $25. But we've seen many people on SoulsLot invest $5,000 to $7,000, right? So on a $5,000 investment at a 12% return, right? They're getting $600 back, so $5,600 as soon as that property sells, oftentimes within 4 to 6 months. So what's really cool is we're able to enable this by essentially working with all of you on the Chia blockchain on a peer-to-peer, permissionless marketplace. So there's a couple of cool pictures. One, two-sided offer. If you want to know about how offer files walk, go talk to Rigidity. He has provided this wonderful picture as well. So SoulsLot, right, allows users to invest in real estate from their favorite wallet because we now allow every EVM wallet to connect to SoulsLot through some proprietary technology that we're just starting to launch. So not only that, but you're able to hedge your XCH, right? One of the age-old tales that everyone said, hey, why am I going to buy DAX, right, when I could just hold XCH? Well, you're going to buy DAX instead of holding XCH for this picture right here, right? This is 621 Martha Avenue, and this is a chart of the XCH spot price of one DAC over time. So it costs more XCH to buy one DAC than it did when the DAX launched. Because the guys were here were using XCH that was worth $18, and the guys over there were only using XCH that was worth 12 or 13, right? So we're reinventing the 60-40 portfolio or the 80-20 portfolio, right? We all love XCH, right? But we think it's a great idea for you guys to diversify as well. Maybe you get some of the ACs or the DCs, right? But maybe you invest in real estate with us too. So this is really where the tech's at, and this is what we're super excited to talk about. We've got 3 revolutionary additions to SolSlot as it currently sits, including signing into what we call an account. Now, an account is similar to a vault, right? It's a property singleton, and we were building them in June, last June when we started, because we were originally thinking we would have to automatically redeem DAX, right? It was looked over and written off as sunk cost. Now, since a few months ago, they added something called an EIP 712 chip, right? Don't ask me. That allowed us to log into these vaults with EVM wallets through Wallet Connect, which means that these accounts can now be logged in through Tangem, right? Hard wallets like Ledger, MetaMask, Coinbase, you name it, any wallet. And what's nice is it's secured on chain. We don't have a backdoor into this account, right? And you can hold your NFTs in the account. And the only person that can get in there is you. Your seed phrase never leaves your wallet. It's completely protected in your phone. When you log in, we also deterministically derive a BLS seed phrase in the front end. Now, it's never stored, so your keys are never exposed. But what this allows us to do is a lot of the same BLS actions that the Chia Wallet SDK does, because Rigidity built the Chia Wallet SDK WASM, right? So not only are our vaults able to store NFTs, but you're able to make an offer for WUSDCB or XCH through the browser wallet, right? You're able to take an offer through the browser wallet. You're able to transfer an NFT, and for fun, you're able to send and receive a little bit of Chia in the browser. You do need to have one mojo in order to send the NFT out of your account. Not only did we do that, but we also built an on-chain recovery method. So every single person's account is stored in a Merkle tree on the Chia blockchain along with the property ID. So if someone ever did take down our database or our Pro API, we would simply be able to spin it back up and it would rebuild the entire account model, right? Everyone's accounts would be spun back up along with their login, and they'd be able to get right back into those accounts. Our last super exciting addition was, since we're already letting people log into their accounts with an EVM wallet, we said, why don't we just let them pay from that EVM wallet, right? And the way that we do that is through what we call the Omnichain, right? But to simplify it, it's simply an escrow contract in Solidity that messages across the Warp Green validator bridge, right? It takes about 20 minutes to message through Warp Green, just like if you transferred funds, to our Oracle on-chain. That Oracle on-chain then tells Rigidity's escrow wallet to send the DAX to the user who purchased it to the account that was connected at the time. After that has been sent, it then messages back across the bridge to our Solidity smart contract to release the funds to us, right? So we don't get your USDC or your USDT until those DAX have been delivered in your account. The fun thing is this also works with Sage. right? So if you're logged in with Sage or Gobi and you want to pay across chain from USDC, you can simply log in with Sage, and then when you check out, you choose USDC base network. It prompts you to connect your wallet. You connect the wallet, and those DAX will show up in your Sage wallet in 20 minutes. Now, if you're saying 20 minutes takes too long, use Stripe, right? Stripe only takes 5 minutes, and you can buy up to 200 DAX at once. They will batch in 25 DAX batches in order to not fill a block, right? In order to not clog. So they'll slowly come, but I think, rigidity, we saw someone test 50, and they were all there in 5 minutes. Up here, I don't think Bushmaster thought he was going to make it into my presentation, but he was our very first Omnichain tester. And we need to add some stuff to the website to make it clear, but Bushmaster so valiantly purchased 22 NFTs all at once from Base, and then messaged me. He said, hey, do I need to do anything else, or was it really that easy? I said, no, yeah, just wait. Go to Warp Green, you can see the transaction, and in 20 minutes, the NFTs were in his wallet. He has since been paid out on those, so I think his $550 investment turned into $620 in like 3 days, which was kind of a fun promo that we did for anyone so bold enough to try the new tech. So thank you, Bushmaster. So the market opportunity for Sol's Lot is big. Currently, there's $65 trillion in American residential equity. Of that $65 trillion, $2 to $3 billion of home equity contracts are originated every year from companies like HomeTap and Unlock, right? That's straight from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau amicus briefing on the new market of home equity contracts. There are 16,530 homes that are sold every day, right? So we believe that we could probably capture 5% of all homes sold are also using SolSlot's product, right? So 5% of all homes in America need that cash up front in order to maximize the value on the market. Again, we've kind of went over these statistics earlier. Homes need renovations every 15 to 20 years. The median home year built is 1979. And with high rates and high debt, a lot of homeowners aren't going to qualify for another monthly payment, right? So the reason why we're competitive and why we're better than a lot of these other platforms is because we're able to recapitalize the money that we give homeowners to y'all. That not only gives you an incredible rate of return, but also gives our fund partners an incredible rate of return, and gives the homeowners a better option than selling for cash or selling to an iBuyer. So this is exactly where our bootstrapped model comes from, right? Me personally, I've been an investor for years. We've got a lot of broker partners, a lot of friends in real estate. And so we think that our brokerage partners are going to go out and sell this new sell before you list product to homeowners, right? Where they say, hey, we can go ahead and put $30,000 in your pocket before you even list so that we can do the work to get you to stand out on the market and sell before anyone else or unlike anyone else, whatever their spiel is, right? We take a 20% listing commission fee. We also only spend about $300 per person that ends up converting money back to us based on that commission. SolSlot Fund is something that's super exciting, so we're working to start a Reg D fund with some of our capital partners, and how we make them money is really awesome. This is what's super exciting for us. We're able to give them a 2% origination fee on close. That comes out of the 5% origination fee or closing fee from the homeowner, right? So if the homeowner gets $30,000, we take $1,500 out of that, right? We go ahead and pay the $600 to the capital fund, and then we pay them a point a month, right? Our goal is to go ahead and recapitalize all this on the platform in 30 days, right? So these DACs sell out 30 days from list at the premium at the 1.12 or 1.15x return, right? Which means we're giving our capital partners 3% a month. right? That's 36% annualized return on money that not only do they get to immediately put back into play, right, which means that they get to use that money over and over and over and over, but for a Reg D fund manager who's paying 10% to 12% to his investors, that's a huge check. That's 20% plus annualized on money that he's just essentially managing. It also lets us, create strict underwriting standards. We don't work with people in bankruptcy. We don't work with people in foreclosure. And it lets us work with investors in our backyard that we already trust and we've bought homes with over the past 7 years. To key it all in, that's the Souls Lot Marketplace, right? That's where all the retail investors are able to essentially buy these DACs. That money goes back to the fund, and you guys get paid out when the property sells. So we kind of went over revenue at each stage. I'm going to go ahead and skip this slide and just talk about a little bit of the momentum that we've already achieved on Souls Lot and our alpha, right? This is simply with Gobi wallets, Dexy Space, and Mint Garden, nothing else, right? You can only use Gobi wallets on our site. We already did over 150,000 DACs sold, which is a huge, huge number considering that was all I should say, we all did, right? Because, if I asked for a raise of hands, and I'm not doxing anyone, for how many of you owned DACs, I would bet 30 to 40% of the room went up. And the cool thing is that DACs are only going to be $25 from now on. We're really going to get the price down so that anyone can participate. We're obviously offering about 15% returns in 3 to 5 months. Those are great, right? That's 30 to 50% annualized for retail investors. Those numbers have gone up drastically, but we're at about 3,000 weekly visitors to the site, and we can track our login API, so people trying to successfully connect into the site, we get about 300 to 500 successful connections into Souls Lot with only Gobi, right? We now have Sage, and we aren't even opening it up to our EVM connections yet. So, super excited about opening it up to some of our beta testers, friends and family, to try Souls Lot Pro out. We're definitely going to go into some audits, so that'll be something to expect. But once we're done, we really think that the Chia community is going to be able to grow through Souls Lot. And the way that we're going to be able to do that is we're going to be able to get every single EVM wallet user to log into Souls Lot, right, buy a DAC, and then we're going to incentivize them to take Pro on the go, download Sage, right, send their DACs out of that account, and when the vaults, the Chia vaults come out, we're going to be identifying high spenders, right, and we're going to encourage them to move their assets to the Chia vault. So we really think that through Souls Lot, we're going to be able to open up the growing real estate investment space, the people that are interested in decentralized real estate. We're going to be able to get them onto Chia without even necessarily realizing they're on Chia, and then push them out to the very best tech in the world. So in the next 12 to 18 months, there are some cool stuff that we're definitely going to be working on. We will be completely revamping our UI dashboard. We want it to really feel like you're logging into Robinhood, right? When you connect your wallet, it pops up your account. You can read how much you've spent. You can read how many contracts you own. And we're going to hook up some APIs so you can actually see how many days the property has been on the market. You can see the current value. You can see any cuts in the price. So you're going to be able to track in real time your investments. Obviously, we've got Souls Lot Pro. Once we pass some audits and hopefully do some community-funded hackathons, we can get that out to everyone and really start growing our platform. Something super exciting that we've talked about a little bit is lease DACs. So this is a DAC with a lease attached to it. It's an option, it's a lease option, and lease options are very common in real estate. Essentially what that means is you pay a lease every month, but you have the option to buy that home back, right? What we do is we split that home up. We take that DAC, we wrap it in one of Rigidity's option contracts, right? And then we wrap it in a lease puzzle. As long as the homeowner pays that lease, it unwraps the lease puzzle and allows them to buy the option enact the option to get that DAC back and start paying down that house, paying down the lease. And so unlike mortgages and unlike leases, every time a homeowner buys back a little chunk of their house, they're paying down the house and their monthly payment goes down too. You'll never see that in mortgages. You'll never see that in leases. So if that homeowner has a $1,000 lease and they get a bonus and they pay off $10,000 of that home, next month maybe their monthly payment is only $900, right? And no one's going to be upset if all of a sudden you got 1% return on your DAC or your NFT, and then you got cashed out on it, right? You're getting a lease monthly payment. All you're going to do is roll that right back into another NFT. So lease DACs are going to be a future way to home ownership, where builders, right, or investors of any type can get a tenant in there and give them that dream of stepping up to home ownership one DAC at a time. We are working with a patent attorney on that, so we're super excited to possibly have a patent pending on the technology and the provisional work there. So lastly is our SolsLot stablecoin, something that can be super exciting when we're accepting rent on chain or we're accepting fiat for rent. If we can actually just issue and incentivize our users to choose the SolsLot stablecoin to get paid out in their rent instead of USDC or something else, that means we get to take all of our rent payments and park them in treasuries, just like Tether, just like Circle, right? So if you're getting your rent payments on chain, right, we'd love for you to possibly use a SolsLot stablecoin. So when we get paid rent from the tenants, we can park that. We can issue you the SolsLot stablecoin, and if you ever need to withdraw that, you can withdraw it through us. So that's our future timeline. This slide, if there are any accredited investors that are interested, we are kicking off our seed round. We definitely would love to be anchored by some strong Chia players, but we really believe that we're going to oversubscribe. We've seen competitors that don't even have a peer-to-peer real estate platform sell out way more than this, and we're offering a $6 million valuation cap, and that means we're selling 20% of the company. We'd love for people not only to own DAX, but for those who are interested in growing Chia and growing SolsLot, own SolsLot as well, with equity or exit in a later round. Again, thank you so much to the community. Thank you